So, Chelsea won. Arsenal won. 10 men, Chelsea, by the way. Kenny Ken's at Stamford Bridge. Make sure you follow him on Instagram, Kenny Ken 1972. This is a football discussion show for entertainment and opinion only. Everything here is about sport. We do not involve politics, personal targeting, or hate. However, one thing I will say, that performance today was absolutely awful. And that is back to life, back to reality for me, Kenny. Yeah. I thought when I see the starting 11, no Saliba, I was like, yeah, cool, no problem. Yeah, I don't rate any of their attackers apart from Neto. João Pedro's not too bad. Yeah, but I wasn't worried about him. I looked at the midfield and I thought, okay, seems decent enough. We should be beating these. You look at the attack line, you're like, okay, well, Trossard's out. Yeah, we're still at Martinelli there. Marino, Saka, cool. And from the first whistle, we were awful. Yeah, the red card galvanised them. Yeah, and then they get the goal. I thought he messed up with his sub taking Calafiori off. I thought he should have kept him on. Yeah, for a little bit longer. Yeah, yes, he's on a yellow. I thought Declan was one of our better players again, although he weren't outstanding. Timber again weren't amazing, but he was better than most. And Marino with the goal. Other than that, I'm struggling to find a player. Calafiori in the first half. I'm struggling to find a player, Kenny.
Well, I'll help you out a bit here. I'm going to start by saying, first and foremost, the better side wasn't us. I think the Sunderland game was a reminder that regardless of how well we're playing and how powerful we are in midfield, if you get amongst any team in the Premiership and intercept the passes, win those second balls, you'll win. You'll be on top of the game. And Chelsea were on top of the game for the minute one. They were more motivated than we were. They understood it was a London derby. They needed to win this game in order to make things interesting in terms of the league, and they consequently showed them why they've made a vast improvement. The midfield battle was not won by Arsenal. I want to say first and foremost, Reece James was the best player in the pitch for me. Yeah, won the midfield battle hands down. I thought their defenders looked solid, didn't have any, looked okay. I thought Neto tried to make things happen. Fernandes was a nuisance from day one, but that's what he's there in the side for. I thought it was a sending off from where we were. It
was horrible. It was horrible, Kenny.
At the time, we didn't notice anything. We just saw Caicedo and Marino going down and Caicedo feigning injury, and that was it. But I think Caicedo must have known that it was a dangerous tackle for him to go down like that. And it was only like there was a bit of kerfuffle. You know, he went to the monitor and he sent him off. But after that, you're right. It galvanised Chelsea. They're the one. They didn't change their shape. In fact, their manager got his tactics spot on. He took off. João Pedro, brought in Liam Delap so he can run those channels. And let's face it, kept the same sort of shape, and they were still winning the midfield battle. You know, you say that Calafiori could have been kept on, but I think what it was is that, you know, Calafiori got booked. We got a couple of players, but we got I think it was Zubimendi was booked as well, and I think it was Mosquera got booked as well. So we always felt in the ground that Andy Taylor was going to try and level it up. You know, because he sent off Caicedo, and he had no choice. I'm sure if he had his...
Right, well, he tried to keep him on.
I know, with that showed that. I think Andy Taylor saw the tackle, but I think he went down the axis of, well, you know what, it's the London derby, those sort of tackles happened. After that, it was obvious to me that he was going to try and level it up, and that's why Calafiori came on. But I was on Lee Judge's channel, and people think that I'm having a dig at Martinelli. There's a reason why Martinelli doesn't start games at Arsenal. It was blatantly obvious today that you can't get Martinelli in a game from the start. You're not. We play predominantly down the right hand side, which means Martinelli's got nothing to do. When he does get the ball, he gets doubled up. He was completely ineffective. However, in the second half, when teams are knackered, he gets in that shoulder. He gets him behind his marker, and he scored. But, you know, I'm going to have to dig out a player today, and it's Bukayo Saka. For the love of God,
thank
please,
you. I'm so glad you've said that. I'm so glad you have said that.
Pass the bloody ball, mate. I know you're involved in the goal for Marino. Great cross. But come on, man. It's not all about you, man. I saw some instances of it in the North London derby. I saw instances of it against, you know, Bayern Munich. I understand that you're a goal scorer, and I get it. I respect that. But there are times, man, when people are making runs and you're just cutting them in and using them as decoys, and you're having that shot, and it's so bloody predictable. Come on, man. We're down to 10 men. When you're down to 10 men, the onus is even greater that you've got to pass the ball, find those spaces, that extra man, and do quick passes. When you go for glory, it's kind of the thinking, oh, it's an easy game. It's down to 10 men. I'm going to be the start. It doesn't work like that, Bakayo. You're an experienced player. You're better than that, man. I understand there's an anxiety in your game that you want to be the main man. You want to, like I said, befit the title that some people say you're world class. I get it. But when you're playing in a team and when you're against 10 men, the onus is on is find that extra space. Get your men in. Because your job, yes, it's to score goals, but you've got to assist as well. Yes, you're fantastic for the assist. Assist for Marino and a great header. But apart from that, you've got to pass the bloody ball. You made Kukureya's job really easy because you become predictable.
Yeah,
Come on, you're better than that, mate.
We should have switched sides. Yeah, when
we
brought Madueke on, we did for a couple of minutes, and that was about it.
Yeah, we did it in play, but ordinarily, Madueke went down his left-hand side. See, Madueke's a different kind of winger than Saka. Madueke's not so much the goal scorer like Saka is. Madueke would try and get across, and he would try to find his man. But I think when Madueke went on the right-hand side, Kukureya knows his game inside out, so he kept on showing him down the line, didn't make the tackle, and then when he got the cross in, that's when he made the tackle. But there was one instance when Madueke was down the left-hand side where he got a great cross in, but Sanchez made a save. It was a case of Arsenal trying to get the passing game off. Chelsea making interceptions. I thought Fofana had a fantastic game in the second half. Won his battles, won his headers, made the interceptions. I thought the goal scorer Chalobah had a good game, and that was it in an instant. We brought on Gyökeres. Again, it wasn't Gyökeres' game because at the end of the day, we were trying to penetrate, but Chelsea read everything we did.
If Timber ducks at the end, Gyökeres scores that.
Yeah,
if he just ducks, Gyökeres wins the game right at the end.
You say that, but it's all big ifs and buts. But there's something bigger.
And we weren't good enough to win that today, Kenny.
We weren't good enough. But it just shows you, it's a little reminder that if you think that the title's already won, games like Chelsea today and games like Sunderland 3 weeks ago, it's a little reminder, be humble. Just be bloody humble. And that's not just...
we've got Aston Villa coming up twice next month.
I'll tell you one thing. If we play that against Villa at home and away, we're getting mullered. We're getting absolutely mullered. We're getting mullered because there's no way Aston Villa are gonna let us off the hook. Now Chelsea were let off the hook because they were down at 10 men, but there's no way that the better side today was Chelsea. Chelsea the better side. They, if they're 10 men, if they're 11 men, who knows? But the fact is that they won the midfield battle, and that's just unacceptable. And that's not a dig because Chelsea were down to 9 men, 10 men.
They were winning that midfield battle. Yeah, do you know why? Because Zubimendi was awful. Yeah. How many times have I said it, Kenny? You press that guy, he folds every time. It was shocking today.
But the problem is that because he's trying to change the way we play and he's trying to get Declan up the field, that Zubimendi's a different kind of midfielder than Thomas. Thomas Partey was was a wrecker, he was a breaker, and he started to move. Zubimendi is meant to be like the brain of the team. He's a bit of a, like a Cavolo kind of player, where he's trying to get us up the field. But when against teams like Sunderland, against teams like Chelsea, and probably against Villa at the weekend, and maybe Brentford on Wednesday, he is going to be a bit of a luxury. But the problem is, for Arteta, he's seen that the good outweighs the bad, especially in Europe, when you want Zubimendi on that ball to dictate the way of play, and that's how we're going to be. Zubimendi is always going to be a fixture at midfield because Declan Rice, like it or not, plays his best football when he's getting forward. He's not a number 6 in a traditional sense. If you play Declan Rice as a number 6, you kill his game and you kill us. As you said astutely, you mentioned that Declan Rice was the exception today in terms of that bad performance. Declan Rice was trying to get us up the field. Declan Rice was trying to play the little passes, diagonal balls as well. Declan doesn't do that if Zubimendi's not on the field. Don't get me wrong, he did that because Chelsea are down to 10 men. We took the risk by taking off Zubimendi and having Eze, Odegaard and Declan. But in a game against Villa, when it's 11 against 11, you know Declan, you're going to want Declan up the field.
Right. Odegaard played really well when he came on, by the way. He was actually dragging us up the pitch and trying to lead a press and trying to get us forward. But again, you're relying on a player that's coming back from injury again.
Yeah, but even so,
the rest of them are poor, mate.
Yeah, but it's this game, though. You've got to remember, right? When you're a player like Odegaard and you play like Eze, you rely on space. Space is your best friend. Space is your partner. Space is your wife. You know what I mean? In the footballistically, and of course they're going to look good with its space. But you know, there's going to be different tests on Wednesday. You know, Brentford are a very organised side. They won at the weekend. They rely heavily on set pieces, and you know they're what we call like the set piece nuisances, like we are. So that's going to be another hard game. But the game that's really, really going to be defining, because like every game's defining, but the real defining games is Villa home and away. Let's not forget what Villa did to us last season. We beat them at Villa Park. The game at Emirates, we were 2-0 up. You know, we got a goal disallowed. They came out 2-2, and let's not forget, the season that preceded that. That was, that preceded that was the
2-0.
The 2-0 and the 1-0. So Villa are going to be a bit of a problem. But as I said before, calm yourself, Stan. The Premiership is not going to be easy. If you win the Premiership, you're going to deserve it, and it's going to win it the hard way. But if you're complacent, if you don't win your midfield battles, doesn't matter how good you are, you're not going to win games. And I just want to belie the bullshit today that we didn't win today because we didn't have our centre halves. Not a load of rubbish. Our centre halves are fine. The midfield got absolutely pressed out of the game, hence the fact that we dropped the points. And 11-11, who knows? But at the end of the day, just remember one thing: you could have the best defence in the country, you can have the best players, but good teams can still hurt you. Good teams and good midfielders still get in your faces. You get bodies forward, your set piece are perfect, you'll concede goals. So let's just remember, it's not going to be easy.
Facts. Get home safely, mate. Love you always, man.
Love you always.
Take care, mate.